Good evening and thank you for joining us for KREM 2 News at 11 tonight. I'm Mark Hanrahan. Our top story, gunfire at a Boise shopping mall ends with 2 dead and 5 wounded, including a police officer. As shots rang out, people inside scrambled for safety. Katya Stepovic spent the afternoon talking with witnesses and others who were at the mall when the shooting happened.
It's slow, mall's dead, no one's in our store, and then I just hear a bunch of shots going off.
I work at Wetzel Pretzel, and I was washing dishes, and all of a sudden I hear this bat, 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 really loud, and you could tell instantly it was gunfire.
Back-to-back 11 shots, boom, 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 boom.
She was like, there's an active shooter, stay locked down.
We were just getting ready to check out, and we heard 4 or 5 shots, and we hit the ground immediately. And then the cashier, she hit the ground with us and started kind of crawling away. And then we heard another 4 or 5 shots. And she goes, come with me, come with me. And she took us and hit us into one of their closets that have a code on it.
What was going through your mind?
What if they get through that door? We're dead.
Owner, employee, security guard, or customer. Around 1:50 in the afternoon at the Boise Mall, minds raced and people dropped to the floor.
My friends and I were drinking and having food at Old Chicago, just paid our bill, and then we saw a bunch of people running out of the main entrance. Look like they were panicked, looking back, and that's when security pulled up and said there's an active shooter, and then got on the loudspeaker and told people to leave the building.
Instantly, like, my heart rate's going, you know, a little scared, not gonna lie.
Just saw mobs of people running.
Definitely some panic in people's eyes.
Native Idahoans, first-time visitors, or lifetime shoppers all shared something in common Monday, a fear for their lives.
We live in Illinois, like 3 hours away from Chicago, where it's more expected. So, you know, you don't expect for it to happen here.
For people in the mall, after shots rang out, an hour and a half of hiding felt like a lifetime.
Finally, we heard somebody knocking on the door and yelling, you know, state police, I thought they were saying. And we didn't even answer because who knows if it was real or not.
How are you feeling right now?
Scared to death. I actually want to get on the plane and go home.
Stranger or native to the Gem State, the deadly act came as a complete shock and an act that will never be forgotten, an act that people say is not their Idaho.
There was a casualty right there in front of me, and in the back of my mind, I'm like, why? Like, I'm just questioning it all.
Like, why? Really, why?
To think that there was someone there with a gun that just wanted to kill people or whatever the situation be is just, it's crazy. It's crazy to be put in that situation.
Like, this is Boise. This doesn't ever happen, you know, really ever, so.
Meantime, closer to home, art class at University High School in the Valley took an unexpected turn today when deputies burst in and arrested a 14-year-old student who they say had a loaded pistol in his backpack. KREM 2's Kyle Simchuk breaks down what happened.
Sheriff's deputies are still trying to figure out why this student had a loaded gun in his backpack and what his intentions were. We spoke to a girl who was inside the classroom as this was all going down. She still can't believe what she saw.
It was just loud and terrifying to hear everything just go down so quick.
Mary Loosemore's art class was interrupted this afternoon when a team of sheriff's deputies burst through the door.
Everyone basically put their hands up because after the police had said for the one specific student to put their hands up, everyone kind of just put their hands up out of fear and shock.
University High School staff called deputies around 1:30 this afternoon after someone reported a freshman had a pistol in his backpack. Deputies found the gun and they say it was loaded.
He looked scared for a minute and then he was actually cooperating, which was very comforting.
The 14-year-old was arrested and the district praised students for speaking up. This sign at the main entrance reminds students if they see something to say something.
You know, we gotta talk to our kids and we gotta let our kids know that, you know, we're here for them and that, you know, if they have a problem, come to us.
Mary's mom is just glad her daughter and other students are safe.
This happened in our, a block away, and my baby's there. It's terrifying, not knowing. I mean, we don't know what's going on with the kids now.
Now, no students or staff were harmed during the incident, and since the suspect is a minor, the sheriff's office is not releasing his name at this time. Reporting in Spokane Valley tonight, Kyle Simchuk, KREM 2 News.
New tonight, a federal judge in eastern Washington has denied a motion to stop Governor Inslee's vaccine mandate. The group of workers are suing Governor Inslee, Spokane Fire Chief Brian Schaefer, Washington State Patrol Chief John Batiste, and others. Judge Thomas Rice said the state has a legitimate government interest in preventing the spread of COVID-19. So in the meantime, we are getting new vaccination data tonight. How many workers are now vaccinated and how many were fired or left their job? We'll have that coming up later in the broadcast. In the meantime, let's switch gears to talk Seahawks. Brenna Green joining me tonight, and boy, another tough one for Hawks fans out there.
Yeah, the Seahawks fell to the Seahawks fell to the Saints 13-10. It puts Seattle at 2-5, which is their worst start since 2011. And as the score would indicate, this game, a real snoozer. Mark, but we got through it. The Seahawks had several miscues down the stretch of this one. We'll start at 6:49 in the fourth. Jason Myers kicking a 53-yard field goal. No good. One of two field goal misses tonight for Myers, and they proved to be costly as evidenced by the final score. On the ensuing Saints drive, this was a call I really didn't like, but a flag is a flag. Marquise Blair called for roughing the passer. By the way, a few plays later, Blair would go down with what Pete Carroll said was a significant knee injury post-game. But here I think is the most consequential play of this whole sequence. I'm showing you. 3:08 in the fourth. Seattle is about to get the ball back after a Saints field goal. Al Woods careens over the line. And that is offsides, which gives New Orleans a set of new downs. They end up kicking a field goal on this possession to make it 13-10. But more importantly, the Saints shaved off just more than a minute of playing time, making it imperative for the Seahawks to throw on their final drive due to only having one timeout, and it did not go well. There's one sack. Here's sack number 2. Nearly a third sack on fourth down, and Geno doesn't find anybody here. That's the end of the game. The Seahawks have had the chance to win on their final drives the last 3 contests and have come up 0 for 3. Pete Carroll not happy. Geno Smith willing to take the blame.
This isn't rocket science, you know. You got to finish the game right and do right at the end, and that's how you become a good finishing club. And we're not right now, and so we have to. It's really clear, you know. There's a lot of things you can do so you don't put yourself in those close games and those close finishes as well. But when you get there, you got to do the right stuff, and we haven't been able to function the way we need to.
I put that solely on myself, honestly, and I got big enough shoulders. I'll take it all. You can put the blame right at my feet, man. I'm not worried. I know I'm going to get better. I know I'm going to fix it. Whatever it is, I'm going to do whatever, I need to do to make sure that we get a win.
In terms of what the Saints did to win this game, well, they put it in the hands of one Alvin Kamara. He had 128 yards on 10 catches and 51 yards rushing on 20 carries. Kamara also scored the Saints' lone touchdown right before the end of the half. You just saw that. The Saints had 304 yards of offense tonight, meaning that Kamara's 179 yards of offense accounted for over half of those yards. Pete Carroll was specifically unhappy post-game with how Kamara torched them on that touchdown drive in the second quarter.
We have this sequence that before the half that it was a shame. It was a shame that we gave them that. It didn't have to happen, and there was a couple things we needed to do and didn't get done. Everybody could see it, cover the running back.
The lone bright spot of the night also has a correlation to the low light of the evening. On the Seahawks' second drive of this game, Geno Smith threw it to DK Metcalf. He took it for 84 yards to the house. It was Seattle's lone touchdown of the night. However, this one play accounted for just over half of Geno Smith's 167 yards of passing overall. They just could not get it going tonight. When asked if there was any update on when Russell Wilson was coming back, Pete Carroll said no, and you can tell he misses Russ.
Say it this way, I've been here a long time, and if we didn't have Russell, I probably wouldn't have been here a long time. Because think of all the magic that he's created in the years. He's got numbers and stats in fourth quarter, this is and that's and all that stuff. One of the winningest quarterbacks in the history of the NFL. And it'll be really fun when he comes back and plays football again for us this year.
that was some Monday Night Football on the professional level, but how about some Monday Night Football at the high school level? The regular season was not enough for the 5A Inland Empire League, a three-way tie for first place in the conference after Friday night between Coeur d'Alene, Lewiston, and Post Falls. So they turned to a Kansas tiebreaker to figure it all out this evening. We could spend an hour explaining that to you, but to sum it up, essentially a college football overtime game between all three teams. Post Falls would not advance past the seeding phase tonight, so their season is over. So it was the Vikings and the Bengals in the final to decide who gets the top seed out of the conference. The first round would be decided by 2-point conversions. After a pair of touchdowns from both teams, CDA would not connect on the pass. Lewiston, however, would. Christopher Ricard finding Elliott Taylor. Bengals take round one in the best of three. Second round, Coeur d'Alene with the ball. Braden Bankston swings it out to Jake Wool, who takes care of the rest. Bengals turn. Vikings would force a fourth down. Ricard looking towards the end zone, and this one is batted down. Vikings knock things up at a round apiece. Next round's winner would take first place in the conference. Lewiston would get the first possession after 2 sacks in the drive, a 4th and 25. Ricard doing what he can to avoid another sack, pitches it out to Cruz Hepburn, who is tackled well short of the first down. Turnover and a chance to win it all for CDA. On the Vikings' first play, handoff to Gunnar Julio, and he walks this baby off. Vikings take 2 out of 3 and win the conference. Worth noting that Lewiston also guaranteed themselves a spot in the playoffs tonight by beating Post Falls. Lewiston will play Capital on either Friday or Saturday. We don't have a game time yet. Meanwhile, CDA, they're going to get a bye to next week.
Hard to believe the high school football kind of quickly coming to a conclusion, reaching that stage of the season, rather.
Yeah, Washington high school football, this is the final week of regular season play.
All right, here we go. Brendan, Thank you very much. All right, let's talk weather now. After a rainy Sunday, we bounced back and had a beautiful Monday here in the inland Northwest, but don't get used to it. Meteorologist Thomas Patrick joining us now from the Outdoor Weather Center. Thomas, when we talked to you at 10 o'clock, it had just started to rain. Is it raining out there now?
Yeah, still spitting out just a couple sprinkles. In fact, almost exactly like 10 o'clock, it had stopped for a little bit, and then during Brenna's sportscast just then, started to pick back up yet again. But very, very light stuff, barely enough to even see on the concrete beneath my feet. Still getting some reports out at the airport that it is sprinkling there as well, close to Airway Heights. And we've seen a bit of rain recently, about 2/3 of an inch between the last 6 days combined, really since last Wednesday. And it rained Wednesday, Friday, and then Sunday, and now it's going to rain for tomorrow and Thursday. So basically every other day for the better part of a week here. So some light rain just sliding through eastern Washington, getting into North Idaho as of right now. This is the remnant of the bomb cyclone from Sunday, especially the same one that slammed into Northern California. It's kind of lost most of its energy, but it's still going to give us some decent rain later on in the day tomorrow. And then we have another system this upcoming Thursday. So we'll give you the details on both of these storm systems and let you know when the heaviest rain is set to fall.
Good, Thomas, thank you very much. Still ahead tonight, it's been a week since the state's vaccine mandate took effect. So we'll look at the latest data on how many state workers have been vaccinated and how many still have not been vaccinated, coming up after the break.